Hello, I'm going to do a brief screencast using a tool called Screencastify to share with you the process I use to answer the three questions that Joanne gave us regarding how our department's headline measures correspond or map onto ACOE mission, vision, and values, or what I'm going to call in this screencast the ACOE way. So the first thing I did was I pulled out our measures, and you can see our headline measures are here in these boxes with the purple writing. And they're all about numbers. There's a lot of numbers in here, and which is fine, but for me, I'm looking at a lot of words down here, right? And so what I did was I thought about the headline measure itself and what it meant as far as a department goal. And I basically went back and rewrote the measure as a sentence. And then I did that for all three of our headline measures. You can see here's our measures in the boxes. And then I kind of wrote them as a sentence, right? And then in sentence form, I could look at the ideas or themes or and content of each of the goals and see where they overlapped onto the mission, the vision, and the values. And where I saw a match, where I saw similar ideas or words or themes, I took a highlighter and I highlighted in yellow. So you can see I've highlighted things like provide, promote, and support leadership and service, ensuring the success of every student in every school. I highlighted address issues obstructing the well-being of students and setting high educational goals, committing to helping the most vulnerable students and educators to thrive in the educational setting. I also highlighted that, we're committed to a thriving learning organization, a high level of service to staff and stakeholders, to stand out in excellence and to collaborate, to stand together. So if you have this document in front of you, you can see that I just went through for you and showed the areas where my restatement of our headline goal most closely matched the terminology, either in the mission or the vision or the values. Okay, so in this case, our analysis of client feedback about whether or not they're better off has a lot of, as a result of working with RSDSS, there's a lot of overlap between the mission and the vision statements. That's where I highlighted the most words and then, or phrases. And then goal 2, there was a lot of overlap in the vision. That's where I did a lot of, I found a lot of overlap, and that is because that's about who we serve. Our grant requires us to serve socioeconomically disadvantaged students who have traditionally found a lot of barriers in the education system. And so I found a lot of overlap in vision for us. And then the third goal for us, there was a lot of overlap in values, because this particular headline measure is about the RSDSS team itself getting better, building capacity, striving to be continuous learners, and putting that learning into place. Okay, so that was how I handled this. I started with the measure that Joanne had us put in the spreadsheet. I rewrote it as a sentence, And then I went to the mission, vision, and values and highlighted the terms, the phrases, the words in the mission, vision, values, goals, etc. I went and highlighted the similar themes and words. And then, let's see, this is just what it looked like in words rather than highlighting. So I went through here then, and all the words that I highlighted, all the phrases I highlighted, I came back and wrote out the headline measure, the headline measure, the headline measure. And then these were the words I pulled out of the mission, the values. Again, mission, vision, values. I took what I highlighted here, and then I restated it underneath the actual headline. Okay, so it was kind of a three-step process. So the next question Joanne asked was, how is the data currently collected? How often do you have a data development plan? And for us, for RSDSS, we have to collect a lot of data and we have to report on it several times a year to the California Department of Education. And so some of what we are collecting, much of what we're collecting for RBA, we're already collecting as a requirement for our grant. And a long time ago, I led our department through a process to develop a data dashboard. And this is what ours looks like. It just has a day a month where we look at our different goals, our RBA headline measures, and a different team member is responsible for bringing the ongoing data to the meeting and leading us through an analysis and next steps. And you can see, you know, in August we did headline measure 1 and we did headline measure 2, and in September we did 3. And in September we did headline measure 1 and 2. And we did 1 and 2 again in October. And actually what happens is we look at every measure at least 4 times a year, but we don't look at them all in the same month. So as far as how do we currently collect and look at data, we look at data monthly, and we look at least 2 of the headline measures every month. And we do have a data system, a FileMaker database, where we keep data on who we're helping, what we're helping them with, how often we help our clients. So we have that kind of information archived in our FileMaker database and in a couple of other places as well. So we actually have 4 or 5 years of data on all 3 of the measures that I just shared with you above. So our data plan is to continue to collect that data and to adjust our dashboard to look at the data more often if that's a particular headline measure that needs more work, or to actually, if we're on track, maybe we don't need to look at it quite as often. But that's, again, that's how we handle looking at our data. Okay. We collect for our headline measure 1, which is about the percent and number of clients that give us a score of 4 or better as far as their knowledge and abilities have increased. We collect that data on every single survey for every event and every technical assistance support opportunity. And then every time we collect survey data, we ask what district they're in, what school they're at, when they engage with us by registering for a professional development opportunity on Eventbrite, we have them put that information as far as their what district they're in, what school they're at, and are they a teacher? Are they an administrator? Are they a parent? Are they a board member? We keep all of that data, and then we compare it to our service priority list at least 4 times a year. And then we also keep data on professional development of our team. And 4 times a year, we have a team. Our RSDSS team has a PD showcase where we sit down and share with each other professional development that we've either sought out or that we've gotten on our own via the internet, the web. And we share how it has affected our ability to do our job or to increase the efficiency or effectiveness of our department. And so we keep data on that in a spreadsheet and a Google form. And we have been doing that for several years too. And I can show you just at the top here. So here's some data on our service priority. And you can see we go back to 2012. This was our baseline year where we were looking at this particular measure. And then this is on our scoring of 4 or better as far as our clients saying that their engagement with us has increased their skills and knowledge, their ability to do their job. And so we have data going back to 2012, which is the baseline year for this particular goal. We collected this data before that, but we started keeping it in this type of goal language. This was our baseline year, 2012-13. Okay, and let's see, going back to how did I do this? So that addresses how we collect our data, how often we collect it and look at it, and do we have a data development plan? Right now, we have a pretty robust data collection process, but if we had a new goal or a new headline, we would have to determine where we were going to get the data, how often we were going to look at it, where it would fit in our dashboard, that kind of thing. So the last question that Joanne asked us to do is to determine how our department's headline measures communicate the vision, the mission, the values, the Alameda, the ACOE way, right? How do our measures actually communicate that? And so what I did here was I reviewed the components of the mission, the vision, and the values, and similar to how I did at the top with highlighting. And I just looked at how do our measures actually underscore that ACOE aspiration, okay? So how does our data that we're collecting, our headline measure, how does it communicate whether or not ACOE is successful at its mission, its vision, its values, or what are the needs relative to all of that, right? How does our data help communicate that information to stakeholders? So here's our overarching goal. And remember, here's our headline measure 1 to measure our clients' reported knowledge and skill increase. Are they better off as a result of their engagement with the RSDSS? And since our overarching goal is to build leadership knowledge and capacity, then our measure of participants' self-reported growth should be indicating whether or not ACOE is successful in its mission, which is providing, promoting, and supporting leadership. right? So, by the way, this is our mission statement, the RSDSS mission statement. R4SDSS provides region-wide leadership through high-quality technical assistance that results in increased district capacity to improve student achievement at priority schools and districts. So that maps on pretty nicely to the ACOE mission. And some of the language that overlaps specifically is this building leadership knowledge and capacity and providing technical assistance in PD. So we think that our headline measure 1 helps to communicate the message of the ACOE mission. And our headline measure 2, which is about providing service to high need districts, high need students, and to support them to remove barriers and increase expectations. Remember, this is our measure that has to do with the percent and number of high priority districts and students that we're serving. This headline seems to really address the vision aspect. There's a lot of overlap. And again, where there is overlap, I underscored that with the orange writing, the orange text. And then headline measure 3, which is increasing our personal and professional capacity as an R4S DSS team to be able to be a thriving learning unit within the organization and to demonstrate that we're dedicated to providing the best service to our stakeholders. This really aligns with the values portion of the ACOE way, to become a thriving learning organization. That's really supported by measuring our professional development, our commitment to that. And also, standing together, being collaborative to become a better unit. So committing to all of our team members, our support staff, as well as our certificated staff and management. Everybody owns a piece of this professional development, ongoing learning. So I don't know if that was helpful. I hope it was, and I wish you luck in developing your own connections. Bye.